Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Exponential Potential. And we are covering courage and confidence throughout this month. We're looking at this from so many different dynamics. And today I am delighted to get to have a natter with my co-host, Jennifer. Hey.
Hey, yes, it's always really good to get together and to talk and to do this podcast. We were just talking before the show, and it's really uplifting, and it helps energize us and inspire us, and we want to do the same for everybody else and bring some really good insight and stories and perspective and tools to help you thrive and help you feel uplifted and feel good about you, especially this month where it's all about confidence and courage.
Yay. And
Yeah.
I love interviewing Jennifer. And if you don't know by now, you blimmin' well should do, because she's an expert in helping clients go from overwhelm from anxiety filled with doubts to feeling calm, balanced, and brimming with confidence and courage and self-love, and you lift people up in the most nurturing, empowering, and positive way. So every time I interview you, I'm writing notes. And I always finish after. So it's almost like kind of less pressure than we have with other guests when we've got to make sure we're doing things properly. Here it's just like, yay, come
Yay.
on, Jennifer, what do I need to do? And I just feel like I'm getting loads of free sessions, because what you do with your client, you go through this, you genuinely bring all the tools that you use to clients to
Mm.
help them to discover and to live a life of freedom, fulfillment, and joy and abundance. And so, yeah,
Mm.
it's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we
And
were talking. Oh, go on.
yeah, no,
Sorry.
go on. No, it's
Yeah.
fine.
So we've been talking about confidence and courage, and as we were planning for this show, you said you really wanted to cover, how you feel confident in your body.
Hmm.
Um, and so that was a really interesting dynamic, because we've talked about courage and confidence and tackling big issues, but feeling confident in your body is a completely different dimension. Do you
It's
want to unpack why it's important?
yeah, it is. It's so many of us, women and men and youngsters, have issues, have body image issues, or the way we look, or the way whether we're too skinny, too fat. Um, in fact, there was a study done by the UK government around women's body image, and 6 out of 10 adult women, so that's 60% of the UK population, have negative feelings about their body. 60%. And it's very similar in the US as well.
Yeah.
And for teenagers, it's 65%. Depending on, I mean, that was a study done by the US government, but there are a lot of studies out there. And it's a real shame that that's where we put our focus on, is how we look. And today I have zero makeup on. I haven't got any filter on my camera. I've just got natural light from the windows. I didn't dry my hair. Well, I washed my hair and had a shower, but I didn't use a hairdryer. I didn't use hair product. I just let it dry naturally. And yeah, there's a few little wacky curls and things like that. But you know what? Today it doesn't matter. It doesn't make me feel any less confident in myself, or any less confident in my abilities, or it doesn't have me feeling really down and, oh my God, I'm having a bad hair day, which it would have done years ago.
Really? Now that's going to
Mm.
come as a surprise to many people. So talk us through your experience from then.
Well, even I remember, even when I was little, when I was fairly young, probably when you, as you become self-aware of your body as a child, So I would say around 7 years old. I remember, because I was very freckly. I still have freckles. Don't know whether you can see them. Sorry about that. But my brothers, and it came from an external source, and it was from my brothers. And I love them to bits, and they love me. But when I was that age, I didn't think they did love me. And they would constantly pick out things, physical things about me. And I was freckle face. Oh, freckle face, and it might seem really harmless thing to say, but it stays with you. And then when I was older, I had double braces, top and bottom, glasses, and brothers are really imaginative in what they can come up with to make you feel really crappy. And they used to put I remember them, we had a big magnet and they put it against my teeth to see if my teeth were magnetic. And they used to call me brace face and metal Mickey and metal mouth and postman Pat, because I used to have to wear little tiny elastic bands at night to pull my teeth back. So postman Pat, because the postman used elastic bands around the mail. And of course, 4 eyes and all those things. And it's not just, you get that when you're at school, when you're younger. But what happens is you take that with you into your later life. And even at 17, I was I went away to dancing school, boarding school. So I was doing 20 hours of dance a week. And at 17, I would look in the mirror and think I was fat. Now you can imagine, 17, I was very, very slender. I was all muscle because I was doing 20 hours of ballet, tap, modern. So it was hardcore stuff. And I would look in the mirror and think I was fat. And all the other dancers that I knew that were sort of, and that sort of started, you become very body conscious. I did when I was 14, but now it's a lot younger. And I'm sure you were very body conscious as well. Most of us are.
Yeah, I look at photos from my teenage years, and it was the grunge phase. So I have a kind of excuse, but my hair was down to my belly button for the first time in my life. It was and I used to wear clothes that were absolutely enormous, and it would be to hide away any part of me because it just felt big. But what struck me about kind of the statistic of 65% of young people and also your experiences in dance school is you're starting to hear more and more cases where like professional associations of dance or gymnasts or diving schools, they're starting to identify safeguarding issues where coaches have attacked a child's body image and the harm that causes. And you've been describing kind of the familial experience and the little pointing out of difference, kind of, but structural undermining of body confidence by a sports body, just not quite right.
I remember being 13, so it's my first year at full-time. It was dance and stage school. It was my first year, 12, 13. And I remember looking at the older girls and really looking up to them, thinking, wow, they're amazing. I wish I could be like that. And we'll talk about comparison in a moment. But I remember there was a fad at one time where the girls would wear these, so they'd wear their leotards and their tights, but over the top of their leotards, they'd wear sweatpants. And these sweatpants were actually not sweatpants as in jogging pants, but they were actually plastic. They were like a waterproof trouser
ones.
Yes, that would roll up above their knee so that they would sweat more and lose weight. And these are girls that are dancing 15 to 20 hours a week.
Yep.
And they've got incredible bodies. So you grow up, you're growing up. I certainly grew up around that image and that pressure of always focusing on the body and what you look like. And and I know, in models and actors, actresses, anything that involves your body, you become so focused on it. And the more you focus on it, the bigger problem it becomes, or the bigger issue that you see it to be.
Yeah.
And then I remember being, when I stopped dancing, oh my God, my thighs were huge. At 19 years old, my thighs were huge.
I was a cyclist.
I was a size 8, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Or less.
I was a cyclist and an athlete. So I ran for school. I did long jump for school, but it meant that I had strong legs.
Yes.
They weren't. It's taken me until my 30s to go, well, that's an Amazon.
Yes.
But you just think, oh, tree trunks.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And then in my 30s, so I have had, since I was 19, well, younger, but throughout my 20s and my 30s, I was never happy with my body shape. And when I got married and I was living in Belgium, I was there for 5 years, and I became very, very depressed and incredibly unhappy with my life for lots of different reasons. And I went from a size 12 to a size 18 in 3 years.
Wow.
Because I was so unhappy. So it's not just about focusing on the external body, your external body. It's also it goes much deeper than that. It goes into your very core of happiness. And when you are unhappy, we all hear the term about comfort eating. And I did a lot of comfort eating. And my husband, we ran a bakery. And we lived next door to the bakery. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before. And there was a door between the bakery and our living room, which was not locked. So I'm there unhappy. And there's all these delicious cakes and cheeses and salamis and bread and chocolate. And I just started to overeat, and I just became bigger and bigger. And I felt huge and even more unhappy, because it was it just, one thing connected with the other.
It's definitely a cycle as well, and kind of when you're carrying that much extra weight, you feel more lethargic. Your energy is quite low, or kind of you feel you feel that if you do anything in the sporting or active arena, people are looking at you and going, well, no, you don't belong in the gym, because you're not you're not a tiny body shape. You're doing here, or you don't belong jogging. Look at that.
Exactly. And I'm quite large at the moment. I'm the largest I've been for quite a few years. So I'm so a size 18 in the US is, I think, well, it's a size
20.
Yeah, no, it's the other way around.
Oh, okay.
It's the other way around. It's 2 sizes less usually, so it's a size 14, 16. And now I'm a 16 on top in UK size, so that would be a 14 on top. But I'm an 18 around my bottom. I have a very curvy bottom. And people are paying money to get a bum like mine.
Well, we're kind of big bottom girls.
Yes.
The world go round.
Yes, exactly. And I'm very comfortable in my body. I know I want to lose weight, but it's not because of how I look. It's because I want to feel fitter and healthier. But before, when I was like this, I felt a lot fatter than I was. I felt huge and really depressed. But now it's like, and it's an acceptance of, okay, I've put on weight. 1 is menopause, and 2, not being able to do the amount of exercise that I would like to do because I've had some health issues. So I haven't been as active, but I make healthy choices. And that's something that we'll talk about a bit in a minute in terms of how you make healthy choices, where you what kind of place do you get to to then inspire yourself and make healthy choices. And so 6 out of 10 women feel negative about their bodies. And the reasons for that is, one, we get teased when we're younger, or whether that's by parents, whether that's by other children in the playground, whether that's by our siblings. Also society as well, with the societal expectations. And you look at different cultures, and different cultures will revere different shapes and sizes of women.
Yep.
And also the history of fashion and society. I mean, you look the beautiful, the Rubens pictures, those lovely paintings, Rubens paintings of the naked, curvaceous women. Well, that in that time, that was deemed as showing your wealth and your class, because if you were big, that means you must have a lot of money, because you can afford to eat lots of luxury, delicious foods.
Yep.
So we all through fashion, all through all through history, there's been a societal pressure put on us all. The corsets that they used to wear in the 17th, 18th century, and they were so tight, women would literally faint because they literally could not breathe. And break their bones. They would break their lower rib bones because those corsets are so tight.
Yep.
And then the swinging 20s, that was very what's the word? Androgynous. Very straight. And one of the reasons that fashion became that way is because the business owners that were the fashion designers, or the fashion houses, the business of fashion houses was run by men. And men decided that they wanted clothes to just, for the models to just be a hanger for the clothes. So they took away all the curvaceous curves, because they didn't want the potential buyers, focusing, because they were men, focusing on the women's shape. They wanted them focusing on the clothes. So one of that reason, and then back in the 90s, the waif, Kate Moss, came back into style. So all through, if you look at through fashion and fashion history, you will notice that whatever's been going on in fashion will affect population, will affect women's mindsets. And I think in the 90s, there was the biggest increase of anorexia and eating disorders. So that's...
And that aspect of the history of fashion, literally is dehumanizing fashion, and then leading to dehumanizing people.
Yes. And it's always, in the past, it's been about women wanting to impress and look good for their men, ultimately, to the point where they would break a bone in their body, to the point where, with society, that whole worry about what other people think and not being judged and wanting to fit in, to the point of all those cases, and still now cases of eating disorders. Thank goodness the plus size models are coming back, and companies are taking more responsibility around that look.
Although when you look at social media, yes, we're seeing a greater range of models coming through, but the use of AI, for example, means that we're not necessarily seeing humans.
Yeah, exactly.
Being portrayed.
Yes.
It's much as they talk about dehumanizing even further, and some aspects of AI do concern me in relation to actually kind of this already the sense of kind of what good looks like is unrealistic and is unattainable, and then to celebrate kind of unreal, unnatural.
Yes. It takes us so far away from our own natural beauty. And in fact, in the US, only 5% of women actually match up with this supposed idealized perfection of beauty, of the, you know, the perfect body, the perfect looks. Only 5% of the population match that. So it kind of gives you a bit of a spectrum, you know, it gives you a perspective on what it is to try and fit into these crazy, unrealistic, fake images. And even without AI, Claire, even without AI, there's a really great TED talk, and I'll put it in the link on YouTube, by a model called Cameron Russell. And she did a brilliant TED talk. She became a model when she was 16. I think it was back, she was born in 1987. So yeah, in 2003, she became a model, and she was just spotted, and she had the good fortune to have good genes, being a white woman, having good genes. And the difference between a photo with her and her grandma a couple of months ago, where she looked like she was a 13-year-old little girl, to the model, the photographs that, you know, the model, the cover of a magazine that she then looked like a couple of months later, is just mind-blowing, because it's all the pre and post production, it's the lighting, it's you have a whole team of people, so hairstylist, makeup stylist, clothes stylist, the lighting, the filters on the camera, and then how many times you have to move to just the amount of photos that are taken to capture that one image, and then the airbrushing and the touching up and everything else afterwards. So we're totally looking at an image that is totally fake, unrealistic, and is nothing like we can get to. So I think that's a really important awareness to have when you're looking at these images, is to remind yourself that what you're looking at is not real.
And also, even in the cases that it is real, the person that is there may not even attach to the images. There's so much body dysmorphia that, I loved, and this probably relates to many of our listeners, but Gok Wan and his series of How to Look Good Naked, and he would ask women, line up a bunch of women in their underwear of all different sizes, and then ask women to stand in the line where they think they are, from bigger and smaller. And almost every single time, kind of the women that came forward would put themselves as heavier than they truly are. Mm-hmm. And it was a really stark exercise, but it was so true. Kind of even women who are size 6, size 8, size 12, size 20, we don't attach to reality of what's really there, good or bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the reasons that the fashion industry and the beauty industry and the cosmetic industry promote all these images is because the amount of money they make. I'm just going to check my figures, but so the beauty industry, so that's skincare and things like that, is $100 billion industry. The cosmetics industry, $100 billion. The cosmetic industry is a $50 billion a year industry. You think about all the makeup that we put on, and it's not just makeup, but the makeup that we put on now, primers, foundations, contouring, highlighting, blusher, powder. That's just the fact, that's just before you even start with the eyeliner. And then there's the fake lashes and the fake hair and the injections, all the fillers that we use. And so that industry is a $570 billion worldwide industry. And weight loss.
Don't tell me.
Weight loss
Yeah.
$175 billion industry.
Oh,
So being
wow.
aware of that, I think kind of helps people put things into perspective a little bit as to why these images,
Yep.
we are bombarded with these images through beauty magazines online and all those.
Yeah.
And as you said, social media, even us, how
Yeah.
many people are putting filters on with bigger eyes and bigger
Yeah.
lips and crazy stuff. I see some really weird stuff and they're like, that's not real.
Yeah. Well, and also you see it kind of within comments, the amount of commentary that there is around people's body shape and
Yeah.
their body image. And
Mm,
it's it's hurtful at
mm,
times. It's darn sleazy as well. It really upsets me kind of with some of the images of, pubescent girl,
mm,
and some of the comments that come through from men, I'm guessing, in the
mm,
main, and you just
mm,
think, oh, yeah, actually,
mm,
come on, guys.
mm.
But those aspects of body confidence, kind of we started off by saying actually it's one more thing that you worry about, or that
Yeah.
it really does damage your mood and your confidence and how you show up, and
Yeah.
yes, has such big impact. What negative impacts have you seen in your world?
I think, well, eating disorders for sure.
Mm,
And like you just you can become obsessed with it, and the damage you're doing to your body by where I was watching a really terrible reality show, and half of the sort of mid 20 things, over half of them, men and women, are having fillers and injections and lifts and boob jobs. And I know that's, and it just seems to be getting younger.
mm,
So you're damaging your body.
mm,
But yeah, it really impacts your self-esteem and your self-worth. When you're looking at other people, when you're comparing yourself to others, because again, you're not comparing yourself to something real.
yeah.
It does create anxiety, depression, that lack of confidence and self-worth, which has in relationships, it massively impacts relationships as well. When you don't feel good about yourself.
And you're kind of saying I'm not worthy of love
Yeah.
or connection or attraction
Yeah.
because I don't fit this stereotypical
Mm.
image.
And I know a few people in relationships, the partners are obsessed with their other partner's weight, which that so undermines somebody else and makes them feel so down and lack so much self-confidence and lack of self-worth. So we're putting way too much focus on what we look like
Mm,
as opposed to who we are. And even, you look at some of the most confident people, you look at actresses and actors and models that look stunning, but they're the most insecure people. And then most, they're so much more insecure than most other people because their jobs, their livelihood is related to how they look, which is very sad. And that is changing slowly. I mean, Cameron Diaz is really does go through phases where she kind of feels really conscious of her aging.
yeah.
Madonna is a massive prime example of being absolutely obsessed with her looks and staying younger.
Oh,
So,
and Cher.
and Cher, yes, yeah, another one that goes under the knife and fillers and things. So yeah, it has a really big impact on our self-worth and our sense of freedom, emotional freedom and joy.
Mm,
It strips us of our happiness, and it takes away the focus of who we really are.
mm. Yeah, yeah. So what can we do about it? Because this is a massive industry, and at other times, certainly this month when we've looked at courage and confidence, and I've advocated for going for a different lippy, sorting out your posture, feeling a bit more here. So it's not never, throw out all your makeup and throw out all your beauty products. That's not what we're saying. But what can we do?
I think one, we can make a choice of how important our looks are versus how important who we really are is, or how we are, how we be, what's more important. And I think that's a good topic of conversation in terms of, okay, are there times when how you look is really important? And you being, you're in the corporate world a lot, and what would your thoughts, and we had some great conversations in our last interview that we did together, by Hacking Confidence, and we did talk about looks. So if you haven't listened to that yet, I highly recommend that you do. But yeah, Claire, what do you think about the importance of looking good? And
it's not just in terms of corporate, but also in terms of some of the abundance mindset. So, I love Denise Duffield Thomas, and she'll tell you to get rid of your old knickers and go for really nice knickers. Kind of just these little, or a different make lipstick, or just some of these different attachments that make you feel richer, that make you feel more attractive. That and I talked about dressing for the job you want to get when you go into an interview, and so often people do judge status based on how you wear a suit, whether you've got a cheap suit or an expensive suit, or and also I know that on the converse side, I know that when I've been lowest and my self-care is lowest, I'm actually the scruffiest in a way. And it's just like, it's tiny things like that all get bundled up in this appearance.
Yes. And there certainly is a place, anytime you're doing presentations, or you're going to a party, or you're meeting new people, and certainly in an interview or a meeting presentation environment, you are going to be judged, and it's an automatic human thing that we all do. So yes, I think, and that those instances, it's important to look the part, whatever that part is, and also having some self-respect about how you look, because how you look is also, as you said, reflecting on how you feel. And actually, there's something that's psychological. So if you wear a lipstick, so I'm not wearing any lipstick at all, I've got very pale lips, but when you wear lipstick and you're doing a talk, people are more likely to listen to what you say. That's a fact. That's a psychological fact. Which is interesting.
Men don't wear lipstick, and they get listened to all the bloody time.
That is so very true. That is so very true. Yeah, you're right. Imagine. But as
I haven't seen Gary Lineker. Yeah.
And that's the whole. Yeah.
So, and I think kind of this isn't something that is going to change instantly. This is not a kind of click of our fingers or wave of our wands and things will change. But so in the meantime, kind of there are a number of tools. There's bound to be a number of tools and techniques that can help you to feel more confident. Kind of what's your top tip?
So we talked about social media earlier. So definitely become aware of the platforms that you follow, or the people that you follow, or the magazines, or whatever it might be that you follow. Become aware of how they make you feel. And if they're making you feel rubbish in yourself, in your body, unfollow. It's that simple. Look for more positive podcasts, or hello. Podcast. But look for people and companies and pages that are more positive. TED Talks are brilliant. They've got some amazing positive talks on there. Brené Brown's one of my favorites. There's a whole slew of people that I could mention, but choose what you're watching and who you're listening to. If you have friends that bring you down, that make you feel rubbish about yourself, your body, then distance yourself from them. Or if they're just on Facebook, unfriend them. You know, they're really simple, easy things that you can do to take control of, become aware of where you feel rubbish and where you don't. So avoid those social media pages, beauty magazines, whatever it might be. And then start to focus. So some of the things that you can do sort of from a skin deep point of view is look at something that you actually like about yourself. You know, maybe it's your hair. Maybe you have lovely, beautiful, long hair. See, I related long hair to being beautiful. Short hair is beautiful too, medium, so you know, but it might
For
be
our listeners, I've got long hair today.
it might be your eyes, it might be your ears, it might be your mouth, it might be your fingernails, you know, and focus on something that you love about yourself. If you can't focus on something that you love, find something you like, because there will be something that you like, and start to focus more on that. But something that's a lot more powerful. And as we said, you know, wear clothes that make you feel good, because it's a start. Wear sexy underwear, but wear it for you. But something deeper than that can really help you start to appreciate your body. So this body that we're in, this human body that we're in, is you are a walking miracle. But you are born a miracle. All the things that had to happen for you to be born, that whole journey of you growing in your mother's womb, you know, you came from 2 cells and you're now this. Think about your senses. What do you see? What do your eyes bring you? The sunsets, the sunrises, the beautiful nature, the just being able to see your loved ones. What do your ears bring you? You know, all the things that you can hear, the birds singing, or the danger that you might be in, you know, that think of what things that you can smell, the things that you can taste, the way you can express yourself through your mouth. And then go take each part of your body, your arms. You can express yourself. You can hold someone and show them you love them by holding them. Your lips, you can kiss somebody you love. You know, you can create with your arms. There's so many, just so think of all the experiences your body brings you. Your legs, you know, movement, dance, travel. We can go anywhere in the world that we choose to. We can drive, we can run, we can skip, we can hop, we can, you know, and we can sail. There's so many amazing experiences that we can do because we have this incredible, miraculous body.
Yeah. We can touch, we can kiss, we can hug.
Yes. Yes. We can play music. We can listen to music. We can watch things on, you know, we can watch things on TV, or we can hear funny things. We can listen to music. There's just so many delicious, magical experiences that our bodies bring us. And when you take your focus away from how you look to what you can actually do and what you experience with your body, it makes a huge difference. And we can all do that. It's a very simple exercise to do. And just keep reminding yourself whenever you feel that you're starting to judge your body, bring yourself back and think about how you can appreciate your body.
It's just, they're so powerful in so many ways, you know, kind of when you're in your head's busy, you're stressed, kind of this is looking outside your head in the world, living in the world. You move further and further away from your truth and kind of just, you know, as you were talking about what your body does, you go deeper within your body. Your focus shifts within your body.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of when we do little sensory hacks like the finger stroke thing, you're
Mm.
in your body,
Mm.
and it's a really precious thing. It's a precious gift. Yeah.
Yes. And so appreciation is really important. So not only reminding yourself and experiencing those things, but then actually loading that with appreciation and gratitude.
Yeah.
Because that is such a powerful tool to use, to be grateful for your body. And then that will put you in a place, if you want to be healthier and you want to lose weight and you've struggled with diets, it puts you in a place of being inspired to make healthier, better choices for you. And instead of focusing, as I said before, instead of focusing on how your body looks, focus on your health and your fitness levels and the activities that you want to do. And that makes it then easier to make lifestyle choices, not diets, because I am no advocate of diets, crazy fads. Eat healthy, balanced meals. That's all it takes. And exercise. But when you start loving your body, when you can start connecting and loving your body, that's when you can start feeling inspired and have a far more positive impact than coming from that place of I hate my body, or my bum's too big, my thighs are too big.
And when you think about how much that costs compared to how much a moisturizer costs, a really expensive moisturizer costs, a chemical peel costs, a facelift costs, all of these things add up, when actually you can make one simple choice that costs you nothing, that can start to turn it around. And then you can choose whether you want to bring these tools in and bring them to serve you. That's what they do. They serve you and your sovereignty, not the other way around.
Yes. So that's focusing on how you look, but the other focus is how you are and how you want to be. And Claire did on our last episode 31. 32. Oh yeah, this is 32. You did a brilliant exercise called gridding. So I love that exercise. It was so powerful, and it I'm not going to go and listen to it because it's brilliant. But you basically think about how you want to be and look at all the different ways and how you can be those things. So focus on how you want to be, and also focus on the things you bring others. You are a unique individual. Nobody is the same.
Yep.
And everybody has their own gifts and abilities and personalities and contribution that they can make that nobody else can make. So
and I did to go a little bit further than that and say compliment somebody else on that.
Yes.
Let's start this blooming ripple of recognizing those characteristics and valuing them so that somebody else sees them. And they might offer you one back.
Yes.
If they do, that's fine. But let's start that ripple.
And learn how to accept compliments. We're so good at, we've said this in another episode as well, we're so good at poo-pooing it or playing it down, or, if someone compliments on your dress, this old thing. Accept that compliment and, thank
you. Do you know what I love most about you from your appearance and your spirit? I think they're both connected for me. But whenever I see you, your cheeks are so vibrant. They are really whether or not you've got blusher and say you don't. But actually, the reason why I like that is that it's real vitality, it's a glow, and it's how it kind of shines out from you to me. I was like, yes, I can see how vibrant and full of health and vitality you are. So there you go. Take that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I fully accept that and appreciate that. And it is true that beauty comes from within. That light that shines comes from me being at peace with myself, me loving myself, loving who I am, and feeling that self-worth, and all the self-esteem issues I had when I was, well, even into my 40s, low self-esteem. When that's all wiped away, you're in a place where it doesn't matter how you look, because it's not important. It's not even a thing anymore. And yeah, I like to wear nice things, but I wear them not because I feel I'm relying on that to make me feel good. It just adds to my feeling good of the day.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think, anybody that is struggling with self-esteem and self-worth will also most definitely struggle with body image issues and self-image issues. So that's another thing I'm really passionate about helping women with: feel good in their bodies, feel comfortable in their skin, feel confident about themselves and how they look.
Oh, I could talk about this for hours, for sure. And realize how much power you've got in that, and just make adaptations around it. As long as you hold the true you close, and then start building out from there.
And the
Yeah.
more you're yourself, the more you allow yourself to be seen and be who you are, the more you will attract like-minded people to make your relationships far easier than you trying to fit in with a crowd that doesn't work for you. So when you start being yourself, you can start looking for groups, for communities, you will automatically attract the same type of people to you. And then you feel that you belong.
So yummy.
Mm.
So, is there anything that you want to offer or bring to the community that could help around this, if anybody is struggling in terms of their confidence?
Yes, I do. I have a really good exercise which is based on that appreciation in the body. So I will put that in the link as an exercise on how to do that and what to do. I think that's one of the most, when I've worked with clients that have had serious body image issues, I think that has been one of the most powerful things and easiest things to do, to start from there. It's a really good starting point. So I'll put a link into that.
And maybe on our socials we'll highlight freckles.
Yes. I mean, so yeah, I don't even know if I've got any freckles on my face anymore. They've all kind of blended in. and it's always, it's always interesting that we judge what we want. We want what we don't have. So I always hated my freckles and wanted clear skin, but my friends love my freckles. Or I always used to just hate my silly curly hair. And that's what I used to call it, silly curly hair. And I always wanted it straight. We always want what we don't have. So start to appreciate what you have.
Here, all the way, all the way. Jen, thank you. It just feels like a nurturing, cleansing, calming, empowering, positive conversation. And I hope that all of our listeners have taken different aspects of that and are able to bring some of that into their own lives. So from here, I think if you've enjoyed today's episode, or if somebody needs to hear today's episode, then do like, subscribe, and share. Our mission is to help people be awesome, to help people thrive, in times of great change, in the times that we're in, to be their best self. Because when they see the good that's within them, it's so precious, it's so gorgeous. Yeah. So,
and the more we do this, in terms of, I'm just thinking about body image, as a mother, as an older sister, as an aunt, as a grandma, by you changing the way you look at your body, you will help the next generations coming up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Indeed. So until next time.
Take care, everybody. Bye.